This is For Lack of Better Terms with my good buddy Andrew and myself. My name is Jerry. This is episode 6, if you were keeping count. And like I said before, that just got deleted.
Yeah, because my phone went off because I'm a douche.
We have some reason of keeping up with the episodes, I guess, just for our sake. On this episode, we're going to just talk about ourselves, what's going on outside of this podcast and our music and things like that. Because, really our main life is outside of this. Music is our hobby. This podcast is, I guess, kind of our hobby. So, I guess for me, we have pets. I have 4 cats and I have a dog, and now we have chickens. The chickens, which I guess I can send you a picture so you guys can see them. We have named Poppet and Smudge. They're silky chickens. If you know anything about chickens, there are tons of different breeds of chickens. It's not just like, extra crispy or original recipe. There are tons of different breeds of chickens. And these are silkies.
Speaking of chicken puns, you were trying to catch the chicken out there earlier, and I thought of Rocky, where he's that quote where he says, "I feel like where the manager guy is like wanting him to catch a chicken."
And he has to run around.
Yeah, and he's like, "I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot."
It's we built a pen for them, and I'll send pictures of that too. It's not the hugest thing. It's like 8 foot by 6 foot, and I think it's probably about 6 foot tall. In that, we have it where we're kind of predator proofing it to an extent, mainly because snakes get in there, and I'm not a fan of snakes, but me and my wife live kind of off the beaten path a little bit, so like foxes and things like that all are in this area. And honestly, I just heard on the news the other day that there is a bear in the area, like a black bear. It knocked over, it knocked over a trail cam, and like knocked over this guy was feeding deer for hunting, I guess.
Is there a bear around here called a sugar bear? You ever heard of that?
I mean, it sounds like a gay dude that gives money to his, like a sugar daddy. But.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'd always heard of there's something. It's like a real small species of bear. But I'm getting us off track.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm definitely Googling that because, no offense to, anybody of any other orientation to anything, but this is what it sounds like. So, anyway, so we got 2 chickens. We'll probably end up our pen will hold about 6, like at full grown. So I'm sure that we'll end up with all 6.
Did you say what breed they are?
They're silkies is what they are.
Okay.
The difference in silkies to like regular chickens, chickens can fly, but just a little bit. Silkies can't at all. Their feathers are too fluffy, and silkies sort of look like aliens that too. I don't know. They're not. It just look like little aliens to me, and they also look like they're wearing.
Would down be the right word? Like the feathers underneath, like the cover feathers are like poofier underneath.
Yeah,
on
but I don't know if they
regular birds, you call that they call that the down.
I don't know if they actually call that, because I want to say that's like a geese or duck thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm ignorant. Yeah. I'm completely ignorant to the fact.
That sounds right though.
I'm completely ignorant to the chicken fact. Like, these chickens are supposedly nicer. They won't like attack you.
Yeah, I was frankly scared of them, but
yeah, my wife made him hold one.
She handed me one, and it just seemed okay. It didn't peck me with its pecker.
Yeah. So they're not old enough right now for us to tell like if they're male or female. The other thing that I've learned about chickens that I guess is common knowledge, but since you don't know about chickens, I'm going to tell you right here on this podcast. If they were both girls, they will still lay eggs. Just flat out lay eggs. There has to be a rooster for them to lay eggs, for them to make baby chicks. And we have a friend, Jeremy this guy at Silkies that lives kind of near my hometown. I'd say near. It's not super near, but it's nearer than here. He's got Silkies, and they just had a chicken, like a little chick, maybe one or two. I'm not real sure. And so now my wife's like, we should totally do this now. And I'm like, I'm completely ignorant of chickens, so I'm sort of learning this as I go. But for the most part, chickens are not bad. These aren't very loud. They're not, especially now they're not old. They're not like rooster crowing or anything like that.
I was blown away at how cheap they are.
Yeah, chickens are cheap. Like, you can usually somewhere between $5 and I think the most expensive chicken I've ever seen to get was like $20. And it's really, kind of what you want to do with them. The breed of chickens that we have, they actually have for show sometimes, some places. So, there's a place in Collinsville that sells show chickens.
Is it at Trade Day?
I'm sure they do, but they're called Southern Silkies. We're not sponsored by them or anything like that, but they sell for show, for far as I know. So I mean, you can buy eggs and have them shipped to your house, and they have incubators and things like that, and they'll hatch in the incubators and whatnot. Also, for you people who don't know, you can actually mail order chickens to your house. I think you have to buy, like that catalog I was showing you, you have to buy so many, and it's somewhere probably around anywhere from 5 to 15 chickens, but they will mail them in a box to your house, to the post office. Like, that's a thing. And I didn't know that. I find that awfully crazy, but obviously it's something that's been going on for years. So if you've ever bought any chickens off of the internet or through mail order and had them shipped to your house, please comment below, because I don't know how that would work, and I'm interested in it.
Also, you said that which you've got the chicken is a chicken house, chicken pen,
yeah,
chicken rack.
It's a coop, I guess.
Chicken coop it's on the ground. I'm not looking at it out the window here, but it's on the ground now. And you said that ultimately all the grass, because I was asking you like what happens with the poop or the shit.
Yeah. What they'll do is they'll eat all the grass, and more or less they'll dig for bugs too. So, because you go to like Tractor Supply or wherever you buy chicken feed in your area, and you can get it with like mealworms and stuff in it. That's what they're looking. They're looking for bugs. They'll eat all that kind of stuff. So eventually they will.
So they are omnivores. They will eat meat and.
Yes. Yeah, I guess if you would call bugs meat.
But if you threw a raw hamburger patty out there, they probably would not eat that, though.
I can't answer that question. I don't know. I will say this: the research that I have done has told you like what you can do because I always thought, I got cats, I got dogs. They like treats. You can go and buy treats at the store, a little bag, give them to them every once in a while. You can't really do that with chickens. So what treats can I make at home? You can actually feed them their own eggs, like cook them and things like that. Now, I don't think I will, mainly because if you do it a lot, they'll start eating their own eggs, but
that seems kind of cannibalistic.
It seems
to me, and it's not really, but it feels that way.
It seems wrong. I'll just be honest with you. It seems wrong. And that's the real reason why, like, I won't, and I'm sure my wife won't ever do it either, because every time I bring it up, we have that same conversation of like, yeah. But I mean, as of right now, everything's been good. I saw you write that down, so I'm gonna let you ask a question.
Well, no, that's what you said that the two that you have out there now. What are the names again?
Poppet and Smudge.
Poppet and Smudge. You got them for free, but the lady said don't feed them to your snakes. If you could kind of tell what people are doing, and
so, and I didn't know this because
that blew my mind.
Yeah, and it did me too. So Um, we joined Facebook groups to find the chickens because you can, a lot of your feed stores will have chickens. We went and they have had chickens like Tractor Supply and things like that. You can go buy them, but you have to buy so many. You can't just go in there and buy like, I just want a baby chick or a baby duck. You have to buy like 3 or 4, excuse me. So we wanted, really, I think she only wanted like 1 or 2 to start with, which is what we got. Excuse me. And we went to a lady, that we found on Facebook locally. Went to her house on my lunch break, actually, and picked out a couple of chickens. And she put them up on there to sell for like $5 a piece. That seems pretty reasonable. We'll go get them, whatever. So we go get money out of the ATM because, like everybody else in the world, we never keep cash on us. And she asked us if we were going to more or less feed them to our snake. I guess that's a thing. Because she brought up that in this area, that's, what a lot of people do. If they find the free kitten in the, on Facebook or the newspaper or Craigslist or whatever, or the free little puppy or whatnot, that they'll get it with free chickens and take them home and feed them to their snake.
Well, I think that boils down, and it seems kind of dark and sinister to us, or to me, because I think it's because of the animals that we choose to keep as pets versus the animals that we choose. Like some countries, I guess they might eat dogs or cats or whatever, and we think it's gross or weird or that sort of thing. But damn, if you got a snake and you have to feed it mice anyway, it's not really that far of a stretch to give it a baby, a kitten, or a puppy, or a chicken in this case. I mean, it's just.
I'm not a snake fan. As much as
for me personally, it still sounds kind of dark and mean, but it probably shouldn't.
Well, I'm not a snake fan, so let's just put that out there. I'm just not. They don't seem like
fucking starve all the snakes.
Well, it's not even that. Like, it's just like it just doesn't seem like a pet. Like, in the sense of having these chickens, like, eventually they'll get used to us where they'll come to us. And, they didn't sit, he can attest when you pick them up. I mean, they panic a little bit at first, but they're babies, eventually that won't happen.
They feel. I didn't realize how airy. Is that the
hollow.
Word? That's so true. They feel very.
Yeah,
like there's not a lot of substance there.
Well, I've had birds.
That really shocked me.
I've had birds as pets before, and it's just kind of an all-bird thing to me. That they just feel kind of airy and hollow, like they're just.
But I mean, that's something. That's just their makeyp. They're made to fly, so they need to be as light, and I think their bones have like hollow stuff going on in there.
But really what I was trying to say is, like, I get that chickens aren't cuddly pets. Like they can be. You can, like anything else, in the world. If you monkey with it enough, it will be a cuddly pet. Snakes don't come off that way to me. Like, I don't care how much you hug this snake, they don't seem cuddly, So I don't know. I'm just not a snake fan. So when the lady said, don't feed them to your snakes, it was, fuck, I don't like snakes, so why the fuck would I ever do that? And it's just personal. If you're a snake fan, I really don't give a shit. I'm just not. But we do have it that, rat snakes or chicken snakes can get in there and they'll try to eat the eggs and they'll end up eating the chickens, and things like that. It's, you have to predator proof all this. They need a way of more or less of being off the ground. So if there is a snake in there, they can be up, because silkies can't really fly. So they got to figure out a way of like jumping and getting up. I mean, they can jump, and they probably could jump. I'm 6'2", they could probably nearly jump to my waist. I'm assuming eventually, So with that all being said, we're going to do our best to predator proof, everything as we can, but You know, you know, the need for, you know, food and things like that, you know, out in the wild. That's something that, you know, I imagine the more we get, the more it could happen. But the whole thing of buying or going to somebody's house and getting an animal and feeding it to something, you know, like anything. Let's like, I do furniture delivery, so across the county from here, there's a guy who has a lion, like not like this big ass dog. He calls a lion. He actually owns a lion, and he's got fenced in his yard, and he's got another place where it's a little more confined, or he's fenced in. So you know, this lion, he goes and buys meat for it. It eats, you know, multiple, probably hundreds of pounds of meat a day because it's a freaking lion. You know, it's like the king of the jungle that's in Atala, Alabama. So, you know, even that. Can you imagine going and like this, you know, getting a dog and throwing the dog in the cage and this lion eating it up? You know, that's the thing that blows my mind on it. And I'll go in a little bit more depth because I've got a few more minutes in there. Here's the reason why. The lion, he gets in the cage with it and plays around, and it's awesome. It's great. He puts videos on Facebook every day. They're awesome to watch. I imagine if he was to put animals where he like more or less gets the taste of blood and then into this lion, that eventually it's going to attack him. And really, how would you get away? You're in a cage with a lion that is faster, stronger, and, you know, just all around better than you are, and you fed it animals.
Is it a male? Is it a male or female?
I think it's a male. It's a male name.
So it has a big mane and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm going to say 1,000 times, he has never done this. You know, he feeds it meat, but it's meat from, you know, like a butcher shop here. I'm just using it as an example. Even with a snake, to me, if you feed a snake, even mice, not that that's not their diet. I completely understand that. But in this, you know, humans are meat eaters, you know, are always been considered meat eaters. But there's plenty of people out there who are vegetarian and vegan and live fantastically. You know, they get their protein other places. So in my head, that's probably what I would do with a snake. You know, we feed our dog, you know, scraps sometimes, but it's usually like French fries and other stuff like that. It's usually not a lot of meat. You know, of things like that. You know, he gets, you know, his dog food and things like that. And the cats, they all do that too. But, you know, you're hucking chickens at your snake. Eventually that snake's going to eat you. I mean, just being honest, like, you look like a big ass chicken to it. You know, this is meat. This is meat. You know, I mean, you've got a 20-foot.
Not in a sexual way.
But I mean, I just read on the news in Tuscaloosa, there's a 15-foot python on the loose. It escaped from their house. So eventually that thing's going to get hungry and eat a little kid because you've been feeding it puppies and not that they have, but you know, and that's how I think about it.
It's up there with meth squirrel.
Exactly. It's up there with meth. Welcome to Alabama. We just took over Florida. It's Alabama man.
Jeez. That's already become a meme. Meth squirrel.
Yeah. But that's it. And we've rambled this whole episode about, you know, doing that, you know, or about the chickens and things like that. Just know that as much as that, you know, I love my chickens. I'm not feeding them. I'm not even going to feed them to myself. I don't eat eggs. They make me sick. You know.
I'll take them.
Yeah.
I'll boil the shit out of them.
Yeah. And then, you know, for the most part, you know, I'm trying to eat a little better. So I do eat chicken, but it's not a lot. You know, I'm trying to dwell into because I'm kind of a chunky dude. So I'm trying to get into eating a little better and a little bit more vegetarian. And so, you know, it really doesn't have to do with the chickens. It has to do with my health more than anything else. So, but we didn't get them to kill and eat, you know. And I know there are people that do that, and that's fine. That's their thing. Same as really, I can't place judgment on people that do the getting animals to feed to their snake. That's your thing. That's whatever. I can't judge that. But anyway, I just rambled for 20 minutes over really nothing. So I guess we're going to call this one an episode because we're trying to keep them about 20 minutes. And we'll come back, talk about our kayaking trip and a couple shows that he's went to here recently and a couple shows we have coming up in the future.
Yeah.
You know, so this is For Lack of Better Terms. My good friend Andrew. I'm Jerry. Good night.
Good night.